Breaking news, the sports card market continues to decline. We will look at prices of recent auctions. Will the sports card market ever come back? Customers are experiencing tons of issues at PWCC, from slow shipping times to delayed customer service. With rumors that PWCC might be sold as soon as this week, we will answer the question that is on everybody's mind in the hobby. Will I slide into Betsy Higgins' DMs? Now that it is rumored that she and her husband Brent are getting a divorce, we will examine all the rumors over at PWCC. We were at a card show all weekend in Sacramento, California, and sold all of our inventory. I'll briefly go over that and comment on the health of the sports card industry. Coming up next on Sports Card Radio.
Was not in my favor. And if you recall, what I did was I traded a 2003 SP Signatures Upper Deck Michael Jordan card. It was a PSA 10 with a PSA 10 autograph from Michael Jordan himself. And I traded that card for a James Harden rookie card, as well as a LeBron card and a couple of Randy Moss cards. And people killed me in the comments, especially because it was said on that show by the people buying it that Michael Jordan card was a pop one.
Okay, the sports card market continues to decline over the past week. You can see that all major sports card indices, according to Card Ladder, are down except football, which is up very slightly. Let's dive into some individual cards, though. Higher grade Michael Jordan rookie cards have done okay in the last few months, but here is a PSA 5 that is nearing a 3-year low price on this one. It seems like if you were willing to buy a Michael Jordan rookie card, most people are paying up for a PSA 8 or 9. Those prices are actually up a little bit in the last 3 to 6 months. The lower grade Jordans appear to be sliding a little bit, so we'll see if that trend changes in the next few months. Fleer! I only show this card to emphasize how much you guys are overpaying for modern wax. Here's an autographed rookie card, serial number to 10 of Anthony Davis. That is only worth $3,000. You guys are spending way too much money on new wax. Most of the players you guys are chasing, believe it or not, won't have as good a career as Anthony Davis, regardless of how you feel about him. It's really stupid the amount of money you guys spend on new wax.
That is a Tesla!
How about the price of old wax? Here's a near 3-year low price on this BBC authenticated box of 88-89 Fleer basketball. Speaking of dip, this PSA 10 Kobe Bryant rookie card used to be worth $10,000. Today, you can get copies under $1,000. This is a card with a population of about 4,000 PSA 10s. Look at what you dorks are spending on Luka Doncic, Zion Williamson, Ja Morant, and Trae Young cards with much higher population counts than this Topps rookie card of Kobe Bryant. Either Kobe cards are going to go up in value a lot in the next year or two, or modern basketball cards, especially of the idiots you guys buy, Luka, Zion, Ja, and Trae Young, those are going to continue to tank in value. Those are the only two options I see. Kobe cards go back up in value by a lot, or modern basketball continues to tank in value. You guys spent so much money on players who will literally be lucky to win an NBA championship in their career. Carmelo Anthony from the 2003-04 draft just retired today. Luka, Zion, Trae Young, and Ja Morant will be lucky to have the career that Carmelo Anthony had. Carmelo had lots of stats and never won anything. How much are your Carmelo Anthony cards worth today? Is he someone on the tip of your tongue when it comes to sports card investing?
I think that Will Greer right now is about 4 times better of an investment than Kyler Murray.
You guys are still overpaying for Luka, Zion, Trae, and Ja, and some of those guys' cards have come down 70% in value in the last couple years. They probably have another 70 to 90% to go down in value again. Over to baseball. Why did none of your favorite content creators ever mention buying Casey Schmidt baseball cards? Those have probably 10x'd in price over the last week after his successful first week in the big leagues with the San Francisco Giants. I still don't understand why you guys pile all your money into a select few baseball prospects like Bobby Witt Jr., Jason Dominguez, Julio Rodriguez, Wander Franco, when it's players like Schmidt who have very, very low card values that are the best risk reward potential when it comes to flipping cards.
Buy more Tatis cards.
Speaking of elite baseball players, this Mike Trout card finished over $1,000 the other night. This thing has sold as low as $650 in the last 2 years. So perhaps Trout cards are creeping back up to respectability. Disclaimer warning on this card. Keep in mind, tons of these cards, this specific card has been trimmed. So just because it's in a BGS holder, PSA holder, SGC holder, doesn't mean that the Topps Update card of Mike Trout you have isn't trimmed. No. Let's take a look at the Griffey Jr. PSA 10. Lots of key cards have gone down in value in the last 2 years. It's actually somewhat impressive that the Griffey Jr. PSA 10 rookie is only down 21% over the last 2 years. Many key cards from this era are actually down 50 to 90% in value over the last 2 years. For this card to be only down 21% is actually pretty solid. I have been trying to buy lower grade copies as recently as this week, frankly. So while I'm not in a market for a PSA 10, this is a card that I'm constantly buying. Why? Because it's an easy sell. Everybody freaking knows this card. Everybody loves this card. And if you see this card online or at a card show, it's hard to pass it up if it's the right price.
And when we actually released the first series of NFTs last week, only 20 of them sold.
Honestly, where I've seen some strong pricing recently is wrestling. $1,900 for an Ultimate Warrior Gold Prism seems strong. $1,600 for a Hulk Hogan autograph seems very strong. I could pull up other examples recently, a Sting autograph, for example, but wrestling seems to be catching some fire with some collectors. Speaking of catching fire, I sold another Press Pass blaster box, say that 5 times fast, for $300 after buyer's premium the other night. Remember, I paid $2.31 each for these boxes. So flipping opportunities exist in the hobby. A lot of times the best ones are places where nobody is looking.
My parents raised me well.
Speaking of where nobody is looking, is anybody home over at PWCC? The shipping times have slowed down over there. We've covered on the channel how 30% of the workforce at PWCC was laid off recently. Now there are rumors circulating that it is PWCC, the company, that is the one that is currently on the auction block with multiple companies bidding to buy the longtime auction giant. AIH Sports hanky-panky mentioned on a video that a deal between PWCC and a potential suitor could come as early as this week. In my opinion, a deal needs to be struck for the health of the hobby, with customer service issues grinding to a halt, and more importantly, the shipping times from PWCC have went from 24 to 48 hours to over a week in most cases. This has halted the ability to use PWCC to flip cards on marketplaces like eBay, where buyers expect you to ship out cards in 24 to 48 hours. Hey, 90% of you watching this maybe don't buy cards on PWCC or have maybe even never heard of them, but many mid to high-end dealers utilize PWCC in a lot of different ways. And with them having problems, this is going to slow down the number of transactions taking place for the beloved mid to high-end cards in this industry, and that is what PWCC specializes in. Guys, until this situation gets sorted out, we are going to see a continuing slide in mid to high-end pricing in sports cards. And no amount of positive videos from your favorite influencers can change that.
That's not content.
Personally, it would make a lot of sense for many companies to try and buy PWCC. Fanatics, Golden, Alt, ComC, Beckett would all make a lot of sense to try and acquire this company. Apparently, there are rumors that Brent and Betsy Higgins, the two owners of PWCC, might be getting a divorce. Well, I hope that is not the case. That could be actually the thing that is forcing the transaction here, is actually kind of some personal issues between the owners over at PWCC. We were at a card show in Sacramento all week. That's right, we were set up for 3 days up in Sacramento. And the two content creators that people came up and wanted to talk to me the most were Jeff Wilson,
Starstock,
and Mojo Sports Autograph.
That's drama.
Without question, there wasn't even anybody that, in my opinion, was even a close third on that. So Jeff Wilson and Mojo Sports certainly have a lot of fans or haters, depending how you look at it.
Sports Card Radio, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Special shout out to Broadway Boys Breaks, who came over many times during the show, and I enjoyed hearing his stories and sharing a laugh with him. But he also came over on Sunday and purchased the entire inventory that we had left at our 2 tables at the Sacramento Card Show, and we were able to dip out of the card show several hours early, get some lunch, and head on home. So very much appreciate everyone we met at the card show. I was overwhelmed by the amount of people that came up to us and watched the show, and I'm very, very grateful to you guys for watching. Very, very grateful that you came out to the Sacramento Card Show and supported all the people there and supported us, and it means a lot to us. And we will talk much more about our experience buying and selling at a card show, probably coming up on our live stream on Thursday. And of course, any more breaking news topics in the hobby, we will have to break down. So join us then, and we will see you very, very soon right here back on Sports Card Radio.